Hello everybody, welcome to the Media Mandem podcast, YouTube channel thing. The old remnants of a podcast long gone is still in my brain, so I still sometimes want to say that as part of the introduction. But perhaps this is a sign that I really should start writing scripts for these episodes, but I refuse to because I don't want to. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about video games, so not Thunderbolts, not Marvel or MCU stuff. Sadly, for all of you Florence Pugh lovers out there, no Florence Pugh, even though she tops spicing that, still could talk about that for at least a week and not stop. But alas, that is not what we are speaking of today. You've clicked on this thumbnail, so you already know what this video is about. It's about a video game called the Stanley Parable. I'm just going to go into it, why I like the game, what I think is so cool about it, the concepts and stuff. It's not a review really, it's just me kind of gushing about interesting and innovative games design and things like that. Hopefully I'll have other games in this series for you as well, games that just impressed me, that I've really enjoyed, and hopefully if you want to get into gaming, you could join in and maybe play them, or if you're already into gaming but you haven't heard of these games, try them, and if you have heard of these games, maybe give them another go with a new lease of life. So, Stanley Parable, it was a game that came out in 2013. It's a story-based sim of sorts, made by two people, Davey Redden, I'm going to say Redden, and William Pugh. I don't think he's related to Florence Pugh, but their surnames are the same. See that? Even then, I'm still getting Florence Pugh into the episode, bro. How do I say it's all spiced on still? Anyway, so what's the game about? Ultimately, it's a non-linear narrative directed game. So essentially, you play as the titular hero or character, Stanley, and the idea of the game is you're being directed by the narrator, whose voice you constantly hear throughout the game. He tells you what to do and how to do it, and instantly the game provides you with the concepts of, well, not provides you with, but shows you and displays it in a really unique way, these kinds of themes of freedom, of choice, of consequence, and things like that, which I really love. So there are loads, it feels like an almost infinite kind of game in terms of what you're capable of doing. Of course it's finite, but how it's presented makes it feel like there's this constant, what's going to happen next, what if I do this, what if I do that. You begin to question everything, and that is where the beauty of this game comes from for me. So just one example, very early on in the game, the narrator tells you Stanley walked into a room and there were two doors, and then there's one on the left and there's one on the right, and the narrator says Stanley walked through the door on the right, and then you can obviously walk through that door on the right and he'll continue his story. He'll be like, and then he went into an office that looked like an ABCDEFG, but then if you walk into the one on the left, he'll be like, no, you shouldn't have done that, do what I tell you to do. He'll kind of ad-lib, almost like he's making up the narration as he goes along, as you defy him or you choose to do what he tells you to do. Which is, soon, the first time you do it, you're just like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But it instantly draws you into this concept of, do I do what I'm told, or do I do what I want to do? Because even though you don't know the motives behind the narrator's actions, why he's telling you to go here, why he's telling you to do this, you instantly begin to question, is he leading me to somewhere that's good, or is he leading me somewhere that's bad? Is he good or is he evil? Do I really have a choice? If I go left, does it still lead me to the same place if I go right? And you're presented with a lot of different ideas like that throughout the game. Random doors, random corridors. They go, oh, if you go this way, it will lead you to something completely different. The game has, of course, because of this, multiple endings. I haven't even gotten, I think, half of them, and I've played the game a lot, like 15 plus hours. And there are some very, how do I put it? Very interesting, shall we say, achievements, if you're an achievement hunter type person in this game, that require an immense amount of dedication and time, like clicking on a certain button in a room like a very specific amount of times, like 433 times or something like that, and then something in the game will change. But it means that you have to play the game for that long to do that action, to see the difference. So the game brings you into these kinds of concepts of, okay, I've played the linear story, so let's say you did follow the narrator and you listen to everything he said, and he'll lead to an ending of sorts, and then the game will go back to the beginning, and you'll be like, oh, is the game over? Did I finish? You start the game again, and then sometimes what will happen, depending on how you've played it, what you've done, even things like how long it's taken you to do certain things, subtle changes will begin to happen throughout the game's world. So for example, you start in an office, an office cubicle, and everything in the room is obviously very specific, but there will be subtle changes in the room each time you start, depending on what you did in the last playthrough. So let's say you clicked on the buttons on the computer in this playthrough, and you go through the whole playthrough, then you come back to the beginning. Next time the screen on the computer will be different, or the options to click will no longer be there, or the door that was closed before is open now, that wasn't in the previous room, things like that. And for me, as someone who's been playing video games for pretty much 90% of his life, I love that kind of thing, because it requires the player to no longer be playing the game almost like an automaton or as a machine, or as a CPU, but you're actively taking part, because you begin to notice all these different things, all these little changes, all these subtle calls to some things different now. Some things happen that didn't happen before, and it begins to make you think, what did I do to make that happen? Why is that changing? What does that mean? It really feeds your curiosity, and I just love that. There are certain things in the game. Initially, I thought the game was maybe like a horror game, because it just makes you feel a little bit uneasy. I think this game came out way before it became a trend, but a lot of the areas in the game are like liminal spaces, like those weird areas that look like spaces between spaces, if that makes sense. And they just give you that weird uneasy feeling. Almost the entire game's world has that sense, where you're walking in these corridors and something about them just feels off. They're not like, oh no, I'm totally scared, like I'm gonna pass out or something, but they just make you feel uneasy, but at the same time they also make you feel really curious. And yeah, I just love that kind of concept about the game. I would suggest it to many people. It's really inexpensive now, probably under £20 on pretty much all platforms. You can get the deluxe edition, I think, which had like extra storylines and I think a few extra characters in it too. I think that's under £20 now. It's available on Steam. I think it's on Epic Game Launcher as well. Obviously Windows is where you would get those two things. So PC, but also Linux and Mac OS. Who even calls it Mac OS? You just call it Mac, innit? But anyway, Switch 1 and 2, and then the Xbox family of consoles, because there's too many to just list out. PS4 and PS5 as well. Yeah, if you get a chance to dip into it, I would say absolutely go for it. It might be something that you're not used to. If you're not used to kind of narrative-led games where it's not so holding your hand through, go to this level, then complete it. Go to this level, then complete it. Go to this level and complete it. But I think that's why you should play it. If that's not something that you're familiar with, or something that you're used to, or you may even think that you would like, because it will be something different, and different is good. Variety is the spice of life, after all. So I'd definitely say give it a go. Quickly, I just found this out doing my research while I was also recording it. You probably should do research before you record, but hey, we live on the edge here, my friends. Apparently the game actually started out as a modification, a mod in the game Half-Life 2, which was made just by Davey Redden on his own, and then he began working with William Pugh to create the actual game itself, which they used the source engine which Half-Life 2 used to create the entire game, which is really cool. So even that, I think, is a wonderful kind of demonstration of someone's creativity, that you can create something from one source, pun intended. See what I did there? Source engine source. Anyway, you can make something that started out as a mod for one game into an entire game when you've got the right people around you, people who can help you kind of create this, or water the seeds, if you will, and help you to cultivate the really cool idea that you might have in your mind. So Stanley Parable, give it a go. You've probably seen from the video footage, this game is very strange. It's not going to be your typical, what's games that people play these days, FIFA or Call of Duty, I think Battlefield or Assassin's Creed, all that kind of stuff. It's not like those. It's different, and like I said before, I think different is good. Different should be celebrated in regards to creativity and these things. So yeah, that's my quick rundown of the Stanley Parable. The gameplay you're watching in the video, by the way, is me playing the game, so you can't really comment on whether I'm a good or bad player, because this game isn't about being good or bad. It's about doing what you think you should do in the game, making your own choices. So you can't tell me that I'm terrible at it. So I specifically chose this so you can't try to judge me on my gameplay techniques. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it, and we appreciate you taking your time out to listen to us talk about all these random subjects. You can never quite guess where we're going with this channel, can you? We're talking about Superman, then we're talking about Thunderbolts, then we're talking about Fantastic Four, and then we're talking about this video game, and then anime 1 second, and it's all over the shop. But that's how we like it here. So yes, please, as all channels ask you to do, I would please, thank you, and please and thank you, if you could subscribe, share, comment, all of that wonderful stuff, so we can get YouTube to notice and be like, hey, that channel exists, you should watch their stuff. We would very much appreciate that. I will leave you hopefully in happy and good health, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.